Her fingers snatched the phone from my hand like it was a burning coal searing her very soul. The screen exploded into a spiderweb of cracks the instant it slipped from my grasp, shattering against the cold marble floor. "You're finished with this," she declared, her voice slicing through the silence, sharp, cold, and unforgiving, like a razor gliding over polished granite. From that moment, she claimed control. "From now on, I decide what you need," she said, pivoting on her heels with a click that sounded like a final verdict. She swept out of the room, her footsteps echoing like the last hammer strike on a coffin. To her, the matter was closed. I was nothing more than a decorative piece in her extravagant world, expected to shine quietly and obey without question. That night, I stared at the broken device, not because I couldn't afford another, but because it symbolized the last thing I'd allow her to destroy. By morning, I was gone. No note, no goodbye, no trace of where I might have gone. When she realized I was gone, the polished facade she wore cracked and splintered, and when she uncovered the chain reaction I had set in motion, her entire carefully constructed world began to unravel. Our story had ignited 8 years earlier, at a gala so exclusive I could barely afford the taxi fare. I wore a borrowed suit, each stitch woven with raw ambition, while she, Victoria Langston, heiress of the Langston Resort's empire, glided through the crowd in a scarlet gown that burned like molten fire. Her faint smile hinted at hidden storms, and I was drawn to it like a moth to a flame. She noticed me, not because I fit in, but because I stood apart. I hung on her every word. She thrived on my attention. Her grace was magnetic, the way she commanded the room, without raising her voice. Our love blazed like wildfire, brilliant, untamed, unstoppable. Weekends were spent soaring over sapphire waters on private planes, mornings filled with champagne on sun-drenched terraces, nights swirling beneath constellations. But somewhere between our vows and her mother's passing, that fire dimmed. She stopped valuing my thoughts, rewriting my role in the story we once shared. Her fortune, once a shared thrill, became a gilded cage tightening around me. The life she built for me was no longer mine. The car I drove was hers, the mansion we inhabited chosen by her. I was reduced to an elegant accessory, shaped and polished to fit her vision, confined to a role she deemed suitable. The phone she crushed wasn't the first wound. It was the last straw I would endure. I uncovered her betrayal one careless evening when her laptop lay open, forgotten, as if she thought I'd never look. The messages inside were not flirtations or casual remarks. They were bold, vivid, brazen, a brutal portrait of unfaithfulness painted in sharp words. But it wasn't the infidelity that shattered me. It was a contempt. "He's tame," she sneered to her lover. "Asterisk thinks he's clever, but he's nothing. Let him play king. It keeps him quiet. Asterisk." They mocked me, laughing at how I'd been subdued, reshaped into a ghost of myself. That night, I didn't rage or confront her. Instead, I made her favorite pasta, poured a glass of her cherished Cabernet, and lay beside her as she slept, masking my store behind calm eyes. For 3 months, I moved in silence. I shrank into myself, a ghost in her presence, fading to avoid notice. But I was watching, studying, tracking every gesture, every careless assumption. I delved into her empire of wealth, unearthing hidden companies, offshore accounts even her mother never knew about. She believed she mastered the labyrinth of assets and trusts, but I made it my mission to know more. Every account she thought secure, I wove into legal snares. Every password she assumed unbreakable, I cracked. I recorded her venom, the biting remarks, the scornful smirks, every time she called me weak. I captured her boasting to her lover about her invincibility, her voice thick with arrogant pride, preserved it all in crystal-clear audio. I met with lawyers she'd never suspect, opened accounts she couldn't find, funneled money through channels she dared not touch. I became the shadow she ignored, the hollow shell she overlooked. Then I made that shadow vanish. When the time came, I left without a backward glance. She hunted for me, desperate, her attorneys scrambling, allies begging, even her father reaching out. But I was gone, my identity buried beneath new names, new cities, new horizons. She tried to access her trusts, seal the Aspen Chalet, sold her accounts, locked everything behind layers of security she couldn't penetrate. When she turned to the media, weaving tales of her missing spouse with crocodile tears that could fool anyone, I struck. Quiet, calculated. I leaked the recordings, clips of her laughter as she demeaned me, audio of her scheming to use me as a prop in her flawless image, videos of nights spent with her lover when she claimed to be elsewhere. Public sympathy twisted into fury. Within hours, her board demanded her resignation. Her lover distanced himself, denying everything. Her meticulously built reputation collapsed into scandal. No spin strong enough to save it. Victoria Langston, once the epitome of grace and control, became a cautionary tale, her name synonymous with betrayal. The final blow came in an unmarked package delivered to her doorstep. Inside, divorce papers signed and sealed, alongside a photograph of her sitting among the ruins of our former home. Her face was pale, clutching the broken phone. Tucked beside it was a note in my handwriting, a single, cold line. Asterisk, you broke what you could see. I dismantle what you never noticed. Asterisk. I don't miss her. I miss the woman I thought she was, the one who only lived in my innocence. But more than that, I'm grateful. Betrayal isn't a wound. It's a lens, exposing truths always there, just beyond the surface. She believed I would crumble, beg, or need her survive. She was wrong. I was silent, not defeated. Strategic, not subdued. And when I left, I didn't just walk away. I took everything that mattered, leaving her with nothing but the echo of her own arrogance.